London. Autumn, 1888. The fog rolls in off the Thames and settles over Whitechapel like a held breath. Gas lamps throw weak, trembling light onto streets so cramped you can touch both walls with outstretched arms. This is the East End, hungry, overcrowded, forgotten by the city it feeds. And somewhere inside it, moving between shadows, is someone the world will never stop looking for. His name, the name a journalist invented, the name that stuck, is Jack the Ripper. And tonight, we talk about why he matters. Between the 31st of August and the 9th of November, 1888, 5 women were murdered in or near Whitechapel. They are known as the Canonical Five. Their names were Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, Mary Jane Kelly. Each throat was cut. Each body was mutilated. The injuries required anatomical knowledge, a steadiness of hand that unsettled detectives who were already unsettled by everything else. The killings escalated. Mary Nichols was found on Bucks Row. Annie Chapman, 8 days later, in a Spitalfields backyard. Then came what investigators called the double event. Stride and Eddowes murdered in the same night, hours apart. And finally, Mary Kelly, the most brutal of all, found inside her room on Dorset Street, the door locked from the inside. The police had nothing, no fingerprints, no consistent witnesses, no precedent. On the 27th of September, 1888, a letter arrived at the Central News Agency. It was addressed to Dear Boss. It was mocking, energetic, and signed, for the first time, Jack the Ripper. It promised more bodies. It promised to cut off a victim's ears and send them to the police. 2 days later, Catherine Eddowes was found with part of her ear severed. A postcard followed. Then, in October, a smaller, darker letter, addressed not to the police, but to a civilian, the head of a local vigilance committee. This one came in a small box. Inside was half a preserved human kidney. The letter, written in a barely literate scrawl, was signed simply, From Hell. Here is what you should know about these letters. Scotland Yard believed almost immediately that the Dear Boss letter was a hoax, almost certainly written by a journalist to inflame the story and sell newspapers. The name Jack the Ripper itself may be a journalist's invention. In 1931, a reporter named Fred Best reportedly confessed that he and a colleague coined it. The From Hell letter, however, the kidney letter, was different in tone, different in handwriting, chilling in its simplicity. Its author remains disputed to this day. More than 100 people have been named as suspects. The list reads like a fever dream. Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber who lived in Whitechapel, whose DNA was reportedly found on a victim's shawl in a 2014 analysis, though that study remains contested. Prince Albert Victor, grandson of Queen Victoria, a royal physician. Even Lewis Carroll, yes, the author of Alice in Wonderland, accused by a psychotherapist in 1996 who claimed to find confessions hidden in anagrams in Carroll's writing. That theory has been universally dismissed, but it tells you something about the gravity this case exerts, even on rational minds. The Ripper murders did something that outlasted the murders themselves. They invented modern, true crime. For the first time, newspapers competed to cover a serial killer in real time. Readers followed the case like a serial novel. The public demanded answers. They pressured police. They theorized. They accused their neighbors.